Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. Origins 2021 is over, and it is time to talk about one of the most important results of the convention, the loot. Now, I will talk about the convention itself on the live stream, so please tune into that on Monday. Actually, by the time you see this, that show will have already happened, so go ahead and watch it after the fact if you're interested. We did, of course, have a smaller Origins this year. The dealer's room was roughly half the size that it normally was, and a lot of fairly prominent dealers backed out for a variety of reasons. A lot of that was probably just manpower. A convention in October has very different manpower requirements than it has in June or July, when a lot more people have summer vacation available, people aren't working, it's the off season or whatever. A lot of those same folks, at least with our group, we're just not able to make an October convention. So there's a lot, plus we got the pandemic and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of variables there that led to it being a smaller convention. I would not draw conclusions from it. As of the filming here, I have not seen any numbers from Gamma. The people I talked to all had a good time. All the dealers that I talked to and asked, how's it going this year? They were very positive about it. I only bought stuff from about 5 different places, so I will talk about that as we go through the stuff. There's quite a bit of it. I'm going to start with the RPG stuff because, a lot of the folks watching are, the wargame folks and who may be less interested in RPGs. Even the wargame stuff may surprise you. Let's talk about the stuff I bought from Free League. This is the Forbidden Lands RPG. I've got the game already. There is an unboxing video on the channel if you're interested in it. It is a very interesting game. I basically bought the 3 things that I didn't have, which is the screen, which is pretty nice, the dice set, which is nice, but you kind of need 2 of them, and they're kind of $25 a piece, and I think that's a little high, and I don't like specialty dice being required for RPGs. You can play this with just regular polyhedral dice, but it's kind of a pain because unlike D12s, you'll have to mark your D12s somehow, or just have to remember that this particular result on a D12 is a particular number of successes. That's a bit of a hassle. So I did buy 1 set of the dice. We'll see how I feel about putting it together. The Roll20 character sheet actually has the die rolling built in, which is really nice. And then the cards, which is a mnemonic aid. There's some unique items and mounts and things like that in here. There are initiative cards to pass out when it's time for combat. So 3 things from Free League. Free League did not have the Twilight 2000 new edition. That is stuck on a boat somewhere, and that was, of course, a very common refrain at Origins 2021. Lots of stuff stuck on boats. All right, next we're going to go through the RPG stuff, and I'm kind of going to go through it in order of how old it is, more or less. Some of the older stuff they needed to get rid of. I got these actually in the wrong order. This is a campaign in 2 volumes, The Red Cow. The Red Cow clan sort of is what the campaign revolves around, and there's a setting book and a campaign book. These were $10 a piece. These have the Hero Quest branding on them, so once they are gone, gone. And I could not say no at that price. Also, at what I think was a reduced price, is the Glorantha source book. This is like an all-in-one book about the setting of Glorantha. If you're into that, it's got beautiful maps. It's very well produced, but it is a few years old. It is not as visually stunning as the current line of RuneQuest stuff. So bear that in mind, but I still felt like it was worth the discounted price. Brand new for RuneQuest are 2 things. The Red Book of Magic with the stunning Mark Smiley cover. This is a rather slender, feels like 128 pages. 128-page book about spirit and rune magic in Glorantha. If you plan to run a Glorantha campaign, I really don't, but I really like I do like the setting, and I really like the new edition. So I picked up the Red Book of Magic. Not quite as new. This has been out for a year or 2. The Smoking Ruin and Other Stories. This is Ready to Play Adventures for RuneQuest by Greg Stafford, Steve Perrin, the late Greg Stafford, and now we have to see the late Steve Perrin as well. It's like Christopher Klug, Jeff Richard, and Jason Durrell. Another nice looking book. There's another one, the name of which I can't remember at this exact moment, but there's another one of these too. So I, at this point, have quite a few adventures ready to go for RuneQuest Adventures in Glorantha whenever I want to run it. which I have no immediate plans to do. Another piece in that puzzle is the RuneQuest starter set. This is brand new. This is the brand new item. It is a 1-inch box. There will be an unboxing video of this, so I'm not going to go into the contents right now. It is packed, and it is beautiful. I'm extremely happy with this RuneQuest starter set. So, setting that aside for now, we have one more role-playing thing, and I haven't even taken this out of the shrink wrap yet. This is a giant slipcase of 2 coffee table sized books, The Guide to Glorantha, volumes 1 and 2. They insisted on putting this in a giant box to protect it. It's huge. It is like coffee table book quality. Can't wait to actually look at it, but I don't have shelf space for it right now because the shelf that the RuneQuest stuff goes on won't fit it. It's huge. So it's huge, and it's super heavy. This was a Kickstarted thing that was kickstarted a few years ago. They are discounting it now, at least at conventions. I am and I've been hemming and hawing about getting it for years and years and years, and I'm glad I finally pushed the button on that. So we're now on to the war games, and I'm gonna, I think, do GMT first. So I mentioned at the time when GMT did their sale, like, look, the trouble is I have like everything that I want that's in print, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming that I want that's not available yet. And there's a few out of print things that I would grab if I could get them. Except that I went to Enterprise Games at Origins and said, I don't have Washington's War and I really should have it. This is a classic and extremely influential design from Mark Herman. This is the genesis of the card-driven war game model. It is an extremely important game in the history of the evolution of war games, and I finally have it. And it's also relatively small. It plays relatively quickly. I foresee having a use for Washington's War, and I might even have an unboxing of it coming as well. This was actually the first year that I ran events at Origins, and again, I'll talk about that on the live stream, but the big thing that I ran was Commands and Colors Napoleonics, which is a game that I like a lot. Unfortunately, I am also a knucklehead, so I get there on Friday realizing, oh crap, I forgot my box. The box containing the board and the cards and the dice. I had the blocks, because those are in a separate plastic bin. So we made some arrangements. Don from Enterprise Games donated a copy, which I ended up not feeling comfortable with, because it was all my fault, so I ended up buying an extra copy of Commands and Colors Napoleonics. So this will get turned into like a travel and demo set of Commands and Colors Napoleonics. The events, by the way, went really well. I am pleased to report. Now, since I was there and really enjoying my time with Commands and Colors Napoleonics, I decided I was going to pick up the remaining things that I needed for the game, which include the Generals, Marshals, and Tactics expansion, the Epic expansion, and the Prussians and the Spanish. So I now do have everything for Commands and Colors Napoleonics. It's been a long time. I've already started stickering this, which is going to be an ongoing project, shall we say. I do like the game a lot. I realize that it is not something that fits 100% comfortably in my wheelhouse. And, when I want a serious war game, Commands and Colors Napoleonics is not where I'm going to turn. But when I want a light war game, or when I want to show the neat things about wargaming at a convention, Commands and Colors Napoleonics is going to be my go-to piece. So we have a whole bunch of new things of blocks to sticker. So while at Enterprise Games, because Enterprise does have some other stuff besides just GMT, I spotted this. Now, this is a thing that I had known about, and I instantly pounced on it. This is The Dragon and the Cross from Richard Berg, and published by Koro Nero Design Workshop, which is a Chinese wargame publisher. I am unhappy to report that there are no English rules in the box. The whole game is in Chinese. A lot of the stuff has both English and Chinese on it, but the rulebook does not. I was able to find English rules online. Now, this is on a very interesting topic, the Taiping Rebellion, which is completely ignored in the West, except by Richard Berg, who did a game on it in S&T. This is kind of a new version of that game. And it has a pretty good reputation, but it's also in Chinese. So We'll see what I think of it. It's a nice game. We have an unboxing of this coming as well. A very confused unboxing as I scratch my head looking for the English rules that I thought would be in here, but were not. But like I said, I did find them online. So it's a super interesting looking game on a very interesting topic that is of interest to me and which has been, not handled by the wargaming industry so far. So neat acquisition, and definitely the only thing I have from this publisher. Certainly not the only thing I have from Richard Berg. Decision Games also had a nice sized booth there. I picked up an extra copy of Hanut Tank Action France 1940, just because I will have my copy as a play copy, and then I will have an extra copy of Hanut. There is an unsleeving of that, and we'll plan to get some play video of it as well at some point. Catastrophe Games was also at Origins, and they were there not only repping their own product, but also Blue Panther, which meant that they had a good selection of Hollandspiel and White Dog games. Now, both Hollandspiel and White Dog games put out a lot of product that I'm interested in, and a lot of product that I'm not interested in. And a lot of the product that I was interested in, I already had. But this was one of the things that I didn't have, and I was super interested in. This is Empire at Sunrise from Hollandspiel. This is John Gorkowski game on World War I in Asia and the Pacific. Again, extremely unusual topic. It also has an extremely unusual telescoping scale mechanic that I am really interested in diving into. So Empire at Sunrise is definitely something that I am happy to add to my library. Also from Decision, because I got interrupted there, we have the very well-regarded RAF, The Battle of Britain 1940. This is the new deluxe and a bit expensive edition. It's a John Butterfield design. It's a classic design. It's been through multiple printings from multiple publishers. It's very well regarded. I have already punched and clipped and organized it. I will probably reorganize it. And it's a 3 games in 1 thing where you can play solitaire as either side or 2-player. So you really have a lot of content in here. And this is definitely the nicest edition of it ever to be created. So very happy to add this. And possibly the most controversial addition to the library is Desert Fox Deluxe. This is for you, Stigler, because I am tired of having the discussion about how terrible this is and not being able to comment on it. It may be that I end up agreeing with you, and it may be that I end up disagreeing. We will now be in a position to take a look. Certainly, it is an audacious game. It is one of only 2 games that I'm aware of that handles the entire war in North Africa with a single contiguous map, the other being Europa's war in the desert. There are other games that have done it, but with disconnected map sections, and most other games have only done the Western Desert portion of it, which was handled in one of the 3 pieces of Europa that Western Desert is comprised of. Desert Fox Deluxe is the other one. It does have a super weird map layout, all the way up like this, so that's very unusual. It's not as big a footprint as you might think. These are all like these larger sections are all like half-size maps. So it's, I think, a fairly handleable game. There's quite a few scenarios. We're going to take a closer look at it in the coming weeks. I have already started looking at the Vassal module, which I have to tell you I am not impressed with. It is, however, true that there is a Vassal module, and I am happy that there is. So, that's a huge load of stuff. I took a picture of it all and realized as I was piling stuff on the table for this video that I forgot like half the stuff. So that is, however, everything that I bought, other than dice. I did buy some new dice at Origins as well, in addition to the Forbidden Lands dice. But I'm not going to show you those because they're already put away and buried. So you're just going to have to take my word for it that they're really nice. Black Oak Workshop is where I bought them from. For the last several years, I want to say they're the only people I've bought dice from at Origins. But, I tend to not buy metal dice and stuff like, the crazy wood dice and the dice made from rare gemstones and stuff like that cost $1 million. The Black Oak Workshop dice are nice. They're big. I like them very much. I do recommend checking them out if you are in the market for more dice. So, after all that, Origins being over, please do check out the live stream and all the other videos that I did on Origins 2021. Hopefully you'll find those of use. Hopefully you'll consider coming to Origins next year here in Columbus, Ohio. It is planned for June or July of 2022. We will be talking about that more in the coming months as plans develop and mature, bearing in mind that we have several fewer months to make those plans develop and mature. So things are going to move relatively quickly. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you have found this moderately entertaining. And if you have, please do give the video a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it if you would consider supporting Ardwulf's Lair. You can do that through the Patreon, the Ko-Fi, or the merch store, all of which are linked in the video description. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.